My name's Abigail, and I'm a second-year student here studying theology. I'm nervous, oh boy. No, it's gonna be good. Basically, everything I'm about to say is exactly what you just preached. The Holy Spirit's super cool that way. So the first line is just, peace is elusive. And sometimes it seems like it's something I might accomplish once I'm married, retired, and rich. You know, like that's like, all right, now I'm content. And stress is something I've really struggled with a lot. And this kind of all came to a height for me last year when in the midst of exam and essay season, I stressed my way into the hospital. I know what you're thinking. That's crazy. Yes, it is. But you see, I was staring down at my blown up hands because somehow my entire body had blown up like a balloon. There's fancy words for that, but I don't know what they mean, so. And I was staring at my hands and I was clutching this emergency button that the doctor had given me to tell me to push it if I felt like my throat started to close. And I started thinking to myself, wow, my stress is very unnecessary. And it's a good thing I came to that, after the fact. And I realized that all that I had accomplished from my worry and distraction and overworking to save to pay for things and studying late into the night and holding grudges and unforgiveness and allowing anger to govern me by my jealousy and my desire to achieve perfection, I'd achieved sickness of heart, sickness of mind, and now sickness of body. So I started to think about yokes. I'm from a hick town, and a yoke is something that connects a bull to another bull so that they can pull something super heavy that they couldn't pull by themselves. And I was hearing a message about yokes after this incident in the hospital, and the pastor was saying that we yoke ourselves to different things. And during that message, I realized that I had yoked myself to distraction, thinking that, maybe if I watch a show in between classes, I'll be calm enough and have rested enough to be able to take on the next class. Or media, if I, spend this time watching YouTube or scrolling through Instagram, that'll be a good debrief for me, and then I'll be able to handle stress. And I'd been asking all these other things to yoke with me so that I could pull the burden of my life. And I realized that I had looked literally everywhere other than Jesus to help me bear this burden. But Jesus says that his burden is light and his yoke is easy. So I decided to implement the Matthew 6 system. My dorm mates are familiar with me saying this. And I started organizing my school schedule and my thought life and my time under Matthew 6, which says only worry about one day at a time, for each day has enough worry in itself. If you want to know how, come ask me. I only have 4 minutes, so I can't go through it all. But in this way, I yoked myself to Christ. And I actually started envisioning myself yoked to Christ. Those memes where there's this kid who's trying to run, but someone's got their hand on his head, so his feet are just slipping. Are we familiar with this? Okay, that's how I was doing life, all by myself, with my distraction and my media and my romantic relationships and, all that stuff. And so now I like to envision in my moments of stress, like right now, in which I have 3 hours of work and then a philosophy exam I'm not prepared for, I envision myself as that kid, my feet are slipping, I'm getting nowhere. And then I like to be oh wait, I'm missing something, and look to my other side and see Jesus standing there. And I like to imagine his hands, on the yoke. And I like to imagine him just start walking. As if everything in my world weighed absolutely nothing, because he is so much bigger than anything that I'm worried about. So, I've realized that I can still strive to do well in my studies, but because it is my joy and my honor to use my mind to glorify God. And I've realized that I can work hard at my job and budget effectively because I know that my income is a gift. And I can work hard to maintain my relationships because I know that in these relationships, I reflect the heart of God to others and see his heart reflected back to me. Because when I'm yoked to Christ, my focus becomes on his strength rather than my weakness. So, I realized I can do nothing apart from Christ. And when I realized that in the hospital, I began to yoke myself to Christ in a new way. allowing him to carry my burdens, looking to my right and realizing that I don't need to let my feet slip. I just need to slow down and walk at his pace. So I'm not confident that I've learned the secret to contentment or that I've come up with a foolproof plan for peace that never fails. And I wouldn't say, follow my example, but I would say that the Lord is a patient and faithful teacher. And this is what he's been showing me lately. And a year ago, I never would have believed the amount of peace and joy that I could walk in these seasons. So you should talk to him because he can help you out. Thanks.